Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. I'm the Scent Maven. Welcome back to my channel, Shopping and Scents. So we're going to decompress today with deep breaths. Oh, dry. So deep breaths, and are you ready for a decorating video? We're going to do a video about decorating, and I'm going to show you some of the artwork, the posters that I picked up, and we're going to talk about all different things related to home decor, stuff you can use to decorate your apartment, different kinds of frames, where to buy art, and all that kind of good stuff. So if you're interested in relaxing with me for a long video, then stay tuned. This is going to be sort of like, I did a video on my Pretty in Pink Molly Ringwald John Cryer photo that I recently picked up and framed. So we're going to talk about decorating. So let me tell you about one of my favorite sites, hashtag not sponsored, but if they want to sponsor me, hey, reach out to me. So we're going to be talking about allposters.com as well as eBay, because you can find some interesting images on eBay, or you can print your own images, or you can use calendar pages, you know, the photos from calendars as pictures in frames. You can frame record albums, magazine covers. You can find an image online and print it out on photo paper. As long as you're not selling it, there's really no copyright infringement. It's in your house. So I would say if you're looking for some images to decorate your home or your apartment, you want to think about what kind of things make you happy. What kind of things inspire you? What do you want to look at when you come home that's going to make you feel like you're home, but also that it reflects your own personal style? Now, this is a bad reflection of my own personal style because I got some Easter baskets back here and I got some magnets here. But we'll talk about some of the art that I have displayed in my apartment, and I will show it to you. So my aesthetic, what I like to look for when I'm decorating, is I have a couple of different styles. Most of my style, nearly all of it, is retro. I like to think of what I imagine the 1950s or even earlier would have been like. Now, since this is a super old apartment, my kitchen, see those lights up there? It's very retro 1950s, 1960s looking. And that dishwasher was probably one of the first ones they made. I don't use that dishwasher. I don't know if it works or not. It probably does. Because I have when I moved in here, an interesting fact, I put 2 new air conditioners in, and I have an air conditioner, and my new air conditioners, like, they broke after, well, not the ones that I have, but I had to replace air conditioners, but the one that's in this apartment that came with the apartment, that's like from 1980 something, still works. But anyway, so I like a retro style feel in my apartment. I also like to look at pictures of, I don't say I like to look at pictures of women. That sounds bad. Well, it doesn't sound bad. Why not? So the steam is coming up from my radiator. Most of the pictures that I have hanging up, with very few exception, are pictures of women. Usually pinups, classic beauty queens, an old style retro feeling of beauty. So you'll see in my showing of some of my art, you'll see a lot of Marilyn Monroe, which I'm not a big fan of her movies or music. But she captures that retro style beauty. Also, there's a lot of Jane Mansfield in my apartment, and just I have one picture of Joan Rivers. I have some Betty Page. I have not Hepburn, Audrey Hepburn. So old style beauty queens, pin-up, retro style feel. I also do love my 1980s. So although I love to imagine what it must have been like to live in like even the 20s through the 50s, I am reminiscent of the 80s because that's, I mean, I was just a little kid then, but at least it brings back memories of my childhood. So it's all retro feel. And it's all pretty much pin-up stuff with a few exceptions. Then I also have some pug art because I have a pug. So I wanted to feel like he was represented. So I have some pug art. And that's about it. So let me talk to you about purchasing art. So now you find the style that suits you, things that you like to look at when you come home, things that you like to decorate with. So where would you find these pictures? Now, for me, for the past 6-7 years, I've been shopping on oldposters.com. I find them to be a pretty good website. They have thousands of images and they run really good sales. Sometimes you'll have to wait quite a while for the picture that you want to go on sale, you know, because they have sales, but not every picture goes on sale. And why are some pictures more money than others? Now, I don't know this to be a fact, but this is what I hypothesize. There's a $5 word. So it could be that the picture is very rare and that the person that owns the copyright on the photo charges a lot for reprinting it. It could also be the stock that the paper is, the stock paper that the picture is printed on. It could be a heavy stock. It could be the resolution of the picture. Some photos, they call them, I want to say they call them jiggly photos. It's like jiggly. It's spelled like G-I-C-L-E-E, something like that. Those are like very high resolution photos. So the price of the photo will vary, and also it'll vary depending on the size. So they'll offer photos usually, photos, posters, even tin signs, in multiple sizes. But when you do a search, let's say you're searching for Marilyn Monroe. So you'll come up with like over 1,000 images. When you click on the image, it will always default to the cheapest size. Now, the cheapest size is not always the smallest size. I don't know how they determine which one they're going to make the sale one. The thing that you want to remember, besides all posters, you can always buy images on eBay. But with the all posters, I think you get the confidence that you're getting a genuine image. Whereas eBay, it could be some guy printing the pictures in his basement. You don't know. So you have more of a quality satisfaction with all posters. But you can buy your images wherever you like. The other tip that I would recommend is when you buy a photo, like All Posters is having a big sale right now. So a lot of the pictures you'll see are super cheap. Like I think even one of the ones I'm about to show you soon was like $5.99 or $6.99. The thing that you want to factor in is how much is it going to cost to frame it? Now, I don't recommend that you go through allposters.com to have it framed. They offer a multitude of different framing options, most of them expensive, depending. It's a lot cheaper if you frame it yourself. So let's say you find a photo that you like. Always factor in how much is it going to cost to buy a frame. Now, what I usually do is I will go to Michaels.com, and I will search to see how much the frames are going for. You want to make sure that it's a frame that's that's not an odd size. Now, Michaels carries much more variety of sizes of frames than other stores. Than you'll find at your CVS or Walgreens, that covers like just the regular sizes, which would be like 4x6, 5x7, 8x10, 11x17, and the poster size 24x36. So anything that's in between those generic sizes, you're going to want to find out how much the frame is going to cost you. So I would avoid buying photos that are an odd size. But you'd really, the more research you do, the more you'll realize what is an odd size. So when I could say an odd size, I mean really something that's like a split number, like 33.5 by, 34.25 or something like that. Something that's really, really split. Not like a general one. Like the ones that I bought are 12x16. Now 12x16 is an odd size. It's an odd size, but it's odd in the sense that it's not the traditional generic 5 or 6 frames that you're going to find in every store. But it's not an impossible find, and it's not a frame that you're going to have custom made. If you get a frame that's like one of the ones that I bought, which I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. It's like, instead of 24x36, I think it might be 22.5 by 33.5 or something like that. So what you can do with that is you can either go to Michaels and have them cut a mat for you that will fill in the border with black or red or whatever. You get the next size up. So if it's an odd size, you get the next size up that would be 24x36, and you can either take the paper that's in the frame, turn it around, and then stick your poster on the front, and then you'll just have a white border. Or you can, like I said, pick a color of a mat that you like. Like, let's say like this is not a mat, but you can get a mat cut with the opening so that the opening fits your picture, and the mat will take up the rest of the frame so you don't have that weird gap. It's totally up to you. So I ordered these photos. Now, another type of photo that I like to get is, it's weird. So I used to be a smoker. I quit smoking about, it's going to be going on 3 months. I've quit on and off over the past decade. But I really, I quit recently again, and I've been smoke-free for 3 months. I used to have pictures of like Marilyn Monroe and Jane Mansfield smoking because I wanted to justify, I guess in my mind, that smoking was beautiful, or, it was okay back then, but they didn't know back then. So it was sort of like a justification. Now I still like to display pictures of people smoking, because it's a reminder of what I don't do anymore and that I'm happy I quit. But it also has like a kind of like fantasy tie to it. I don't know. It's like, I wish I could smoke. I don't want to say that. I wish I could smoke. No, I don't. It's all a mental thing. It's all a mental thing. But anyway, so pictures of people smoking, like I said, retro style, and also strange photos. So it's not enough for me to find a picture of Marilyn Monroe or Jane Mansfield or any kind of beauty icon. It has to be something that's unusual. Not like Cyndi Lauper. Why is she so unusual? No, but it has to be something different and unique, something that a person would look at and be like, I've never seen that photo before. So anyway, I picked up recently 3 12 by 16 photos from allposters.com. I also ordered a poster of Tom Waits, who is a singer that I don't like. And I'll tell you how I ended up with that poster. And also I ordered a 24 by 36 poster, movie poster of The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Now, the reason that I didn't get that on All Posters is I don't think they had the 24 by 36. I think they had odd sizes. So anyway, 12 by 16 photos. I looked online at Michael's. They're doing a super sale. They are like $9.99 at Michael's. And they are plexiglass. Now, I recommend plexiglass, especially if you've had horror stories with command hooks or pictures have fallen off your wall. So if you have the option to choose plexiglass, I suggest that because it's less likely to break. Now, if it falls off your wall, it could chip. It could crack, but it's not going to shatter like a glass frame. Also, it's a lot lighter usually. But rather than spend the $9.99, I happen to be in a brand new discount store that opened up near my house. And it's not a chain, so it doesn't matter. I'm not going to tell you what it's called because you won't find it in your area because it's not a chain. And I don't want to reveal like where I live. I found these frames, 12, I could not believe it, 12 by 16 frames, these are glass, for $1.29. $1.29. Can you believe the deal? So, it's a plain wood frame. And so I'm going to frame the photos that I got from allposters.com, and I'm going to show them to you. And then I'm going to talk about Tom Waits and how I ended up with this picture of him. Anyway, so what did I order? Let me show you what the posters look like when they ship them to you. Now, something else I should say about All Posters is you'll see on the site, it may say will take 5 to 7 days to ship. I don't know why. It's in the United States. Where is it coming from? Ohio. So I think the reason for that is I think they print to order. Oh, I just spit. I think they print to order because they have so many thousands and thousands of images. I can't imagine. And not only do they have thousands of images, but they have multiple sizes of every image, pretty much. So I think it would be impossible for them to keep a warehouse full of all that stuff. It would just be easier to keep the paper, right? The paper sizes and stocks and frames, because they do framing. And then just print to order, because you never know what people are going to order, right? There was a picture on there. Oh my God, it was like the ugliest picture ever. I should show it to you. There was a picture, and I happen to like, I don't want to say I happen to like Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers is not a beauty queen. She's like a, well, I'll show you the picture I have of her. But there was a picture of her eating a pot of beans, like with a giant, like a pot like that. Like that's as big, a big steel pot with a spoon eating beans. And I was like, that is the most bizarre. And it wasn't it was a picture of her when she had gotten older. Not when she was way old, but older. So, more mature. And it was not a flattering photo. It was not a flattering photo, and they wanted like $75 for it, and I could not imagine. I mean, even if you were a super Joan Rivers fan, I could not imagine you hanging up a picture of Joan Rivers eating a giant pot of beans. Anyway, so when they send you the pictures, it's going to be in that box that I showed you, and then it's going to be rolled like this. So there should be 3 in here. I am going to put the photos, oh no. I hope I didn't buy the wrong size. I bought 12 by 16 frames. Did I buy the wrong size frames for these? Tell me I bought the wrong size frames. Tell me. Ow, and I just sliced my finger. I thought this was the size. Oh, okay, thank God. Jesus. I was like, I bought the wrong size frames. Here are the photos. They're a lot smaller than the roll. Okay. Wow, so I'm going to look at them. You can't see them right now. Wow. They are some gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous photos. Oh my God. They are beautiful. So I'm going to frame them. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show them to you. And we're going to continue with this super, super long video. Okay, I just finished framing the 3 pictures. Now, lesson to myself. You see this bloody tissue? Lesson to myself. Do not buy cheap frames because the prongs will stick you in the fingers and you will get cuts and you will be bleeding on your pictures. So I cut myself 3 times, both thumbs and an index finger. I have my handy dandy hydrogen peroxide because those frames are cheap. So I would not recommend going next time. Just spend the $9.99 rather than the $1.29 because yikes. Now, who knows? Now I'm worried that the clasp on the back of the frame is going to be weak and the picture is just going to fall on the floor and shatter because I had to be cheap. I don't know how secure these tabs are. I'm literally bleeding all on my pictures. Just next time, just get the more expensive ring. That's the rule. Okay, because this is just not good. Anyway, I'm going to show you the 3 photos that I framed. Yeah, these are beyond cheap. These are beyond cheap frames. Okay, so these pictures are all women, literally still bleeding. Now, the first picture is someone I do not have a picture of. And I just happened to, I don't know how I stumbled onto this picture. But I was like, that picture is so strange. Like, it's a beautiful photo. But when I looked at it, I was like, that is such a unique photo. I have never seen a photo like that before. That's so, it's just, like I said, unique. So, this is the photo. You're going to get some glare. Here we go. So this is the photo. I wish you could appreciate the amazingness of it. Maybe I should turn the camera around. I should try doing that. Let's try turning the camera around. Let's move my bag out of the way here. Okay. No, you got my reflection now. Anyway, this is a photo of Eartha Kitt. Now, if you don't know who Eartha Kitt is, she is the original Catwoman. She was on the TV series Batman. I've not seen her look like this with this short pixie haircut before. But the weird thing about it is she's drinking a jar of honey. It says something bee. Sue Bee Honey. Now, when I first saw this picture, I was like, I thought she was drinking alcohol. Before I realized, and you can see the topper in her hand. Before I really looked at it, I thought it was alcohol because she's clearly, you can see coats hanging up behind her in this nightclub. And she's drinking honey. And then it dawned on me why she would be sitting in a nightclub drinking honey. And that is because she was also a singer. She used to sing, so she's probably drinking the honey and dressed in an evening gown at a club because she's about to sing. That's what I'm guessing. I don't remember what year this photo was taken. I would have to go back and look at my, not my notes, but my screen capture from the site. So I'll go back and take a look at that. Okay, so according to all posters, this photo was taken in 1959. I'll let you guys appreciate for a little bit. Don't know where I'm going to hang this yet. And then we'll move on to the next photo. Okay, so many of you will know who this is right away. My boyfriend did not like this photo when I showed it to him before I bought it. He said she looked like a man, which is weird because she's got basically the same haircut as Eartha Kitt in that other picture. But this is Liza Minnelli from Cabaret 1972. And as you can see, she is smoking in the picture. Now, I always think Liza Minnelli looked her most beautiful in Cabaret, a movie I still have not seen. So, and she maintained that same hairstyle for her whole life. And for those of you who don't know, Liza Minnelli is the daughter of Judy Garland. So now we're going to move on to the next picture. Okay, so here we have the Bride of Frankenstein. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I believe it's Elsa Lanchester. And this is approximately 1935. This is a very unusual photo because when you usually see the Bride of Frankenstein, who's only in the last 10 minutes of that movie, by the way, she's either screaming or she's, you know, she looks horrified, you know, because she's just been brought to life from the dead and now been told, you know, Frankenstein is she's the Bride of Frankenstein. So pretty terrifying, and she looks mortified in the movie. But here we see a very glamorous, different side, a more beautiful, just laid back version, a more diva-esque version of the Bride of Frankenstein. So that's what I really like about this photo, that she doesn't look horrified, that she just looks like she's owning it. So that was the third photo in the series. And then I will show you some of my art and then what I didn't buy and what I'm thinking about buying, and it'll all be super long. And my floor is filthy. Oh, I need to mop my floor. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get comments. You guys are gonna be like, your floor is so dirty. Oh, yeah, you know why? Because I have a dog and dog hair sticks to the floor, and I come home from work or I go to meetings after work, and then I come home and then I do these videos and I hang up art and I cut my fingers open for you guys. And yeah, so we're going to take a look at some of the art that I have already hanging up. We're going to talk about the frames, and then we're going to talk about what I was considering getting and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, so here is one of my latest acquisitions. So we're going to take a look at this. Marilyn Monroe, Everything Is So Fabulous here. This is a 24 by 36 photo from All Posters. I had to wait for this to go on sale. The normal price on this print unframed is about $50, $50, some ridiculous amount like that, I guess because of the copyright. Anyway, I was able to get this plexiglass frame from Michael's for $12.99, so $15 with the tax, and then for the poster I paid $30 with the shipping. Now you can see this is a very wide framed poster. It is a little heavy, even though it's plexiglass. So now we're going to move over to a frame that I do not recommend. So here we have Pulp Fiction. This is the Jack Rabbit Slims Twist Contest with John Travolta and Uma Thurman. I like it because the poster is retro looking, even if the movie is not that old. So this frame, okay, this is like a frame from Walmart, super cheap. It comes with these sticks. So these come apart. Each one of these is a stick. Now I will tell you, even though this is plexiglass, it's heavy. This frame is cheap, but it's heavy. If it falls off the wall, the plexiglass will chip or crack, and it will make it impossible to put those sticks on. You have to line them up. That's another thing that's a pain in the butt. You have to line up those sticks because they're all individual pieces. And if you lose one of the sticks, your frame is worthless because they do not sell the sticks by themselves. So I heavily advise against this type of frame. I had a few of these and they've all broken. The sticks have fallen off. They've gotten misplaced. I had an Alice in Wonderland one that cracked, and then it was impossible to get the sticks back on because you have to have it perfectly lined up to get those sticks on there. So this is the only one remaining. I must have had about 3 or 4, and this is the only one that remains. Now here, we have an odd size frame. This might be a, what was that other size that I had? 12 by 16. This looks like it's about the same size as those other frames. Maybe a little bit longer. I think I had to cut this photo slightly to fit it into the frame. This is Jane Mansfield, and she's wearing a sailor outfit. Again, very retro glam. Then we have Marilyn Monroe. This, I believe, had the border, either that or I did a really good job. I think I did a really good job, maybe. This is one of those, no, because you can see it's wider on one side. It's wider on this side. I broke my nail. Wider on this side than this side. So this was one of those odd shaped photos that I got to frame the next size up, and then I just turned the paper around and then tried to get it as centered as I could. So I never really noticed that it was off center. And I think if you look at it like this, you can't really tell. I like this picture of Marilyn reading a newspaper. She's reading Motion Picture Daily. And I just like it because it's a different side of Marilyn. They really don't show her reading. Although now they, you know, Marilyn Monroe quotes pop up all over the place as though she was some great philosopher. But there she is just reading the newspaper, or pretending to read the newspaper. Who knows? Then down here is a frame I have to replace. Okay, this is a frame that fell off the wall thanks to command hooks. So this is a record. This is an actual album that I've listened to, and it's a great comedy album. This is Joan Rivers, excerpts from What Becomes a Legend Most. And then it says on the tattoo, it says, Joan Rivers puts out for DJs who play this album. So again, we have Joan Rivers smoking. We have like a little faux tattoo. What does it say? It says, your call letters go here. So this was the promo album for the DJs to play. So Michaels sells frames specifically for records. So records are not exactly 12 by 12. I think they're 12 and a half by 12 and a half. So you can find ones that are record specific at Michaels, and they're cheap now. I think they're like $6.99, something like that. And it's good that they're record specific. So if you want to keep the album in the sleeve and still frame it without worrying about cracking the album, I think you're able to do that, because I think that's what I did here. Okay, so now we just have some, I'm not gonna even count this as art. These are some ballerinas from Dollar Tree. So up here, these are some frames from Michael's. Now on the left, we have Marilyn Monroe. That's actually a postcard from a store that closed maybe 20 years ago. And I have the glitter frame. And then there we have Jane Mansfield in a very similar pose. And I like these next to each other because it shows their similarities, but yet there are differences in appearance. And then we have a Marilyn wooden carving in the middle that Bad Enabler gave me. So I also have these frames in silver. And the silver ones were the photos of Marilyn and Jane Mansfield smoking. But I couldn't hang up everything when I moved into the smaller apartment. So those ended up not getting hung up. So now here, this is a very interesting frame. So now this is Audrey Hepburn, okay? This is not neither plexiglass nor regular glass. So I got this on sale when they were running a super sale at All Posters. And this is what they call like a, sort of like a laminated print or something. It's, I don't want to say it's a board. It's sort of like a laminated board that already comes in the frame. And like I said, I got it super cheap. I want to say I paid under $20 for it with the shipping. And I like the saying, it says, nothing is impossible. The word itself says I'm possible. So that's a nice little inspirational saying. Now over here, I believe this one had the border. I don't believe I framed this with the white paper. I think it came with the border, I'm pretty sure, because it looks pretty perfect. And I don't think I could have centered it that well. So this is just like a burlesque type model. I think if you look on All Posters, she's listed as a dancer with red feathers or red fans or something. So we can see it's a very beautiful photo, very retro. She's wearing the ballerina slippers, and so something that really caught my eye. So now we're gonna go over here. These are also like record frames, but they're like a cheaper version because you see how thin. These are ones that you just pop the glass in, and the back is just like, it's all one piece. So we have 3 pugs, Canoe Company, and then the doggy family, and the pug is at the bottom there. And then this is a canvas that I got from TJ Maxx or Marshall's or something. So I want to show you this picture of Jane Mansfield that I got from All Posters. I know this sounds like a long-running ad for them, but like I said, I really buy all my stuff from them. Jane Mansfield in a green bikini next to a chair for no particular reason. And she's got like the stripper see-through lucite shoes. So I really like this picture of her. And then when we go over here, we see a very reimagined version of Marilyn. Obviously, they took Marilyn's face and they put it on a different person's body. And so I like this reimagining of her. Now, this is plexiglass. And I forget where I got this, but it has not as thick a border as the other Marilyn. So this one is a lot lighter. So you don't have to worry about putting it in the wall with a nail and an anchor and all that kind of stuff. This is basically hung up with a thumbtack and it holds it just fine. It's very, very light. Okay, the lighting in here is really bad, so bear with me. This is Jane Mansfield. Now, the photo cost under 10 bucks. this frame, which is glass and has a mat in it, is extremely heavy. It's held on with wires and command strips, multiple command strips. It is very heavy, and that is why I have it hanging over my bed, because just in case it falls off the wall, it'll fall onto the bed. Hopefully, yeah, it will fall onto the bed. There's not space between the bed and the wall. So if it falls off the wall, it'll fall onto the bed and not break, because the frame was expensive. I don't remember how much it cost, but any frame that's over $30 to me is expensive. Now I'm going to show you this Marilyn photo right here. This I bought pre-framed at one of those like vendors on the street in Manhattan somewhere years ago. And then what happened was I stepped on it and broke the glass, and I was going to throw it out, but I can't find this picture of Marilyn anywhere. So I just popped out the glass and hung it up like that without any glass. And it says, "I don't mind living in a man's world as long as I can be a woman in it." And again, she has on like the stripper shoes, the lucite looking ones. Okay, then we're gonna take a look at Betty Page now. Okay, so here we have a picture of Betty Page. Betty Page was the first pinup queen of bondage. If you have not watched the biopic on her, The Notorious Betty Page with Gretchen Mol, I certainly recommend it. So we see her here in her undergarments with a whip. And I like this because it's the first really mainstream classic type of this type of photo. And obviously Betty Page was a very beautiful woman. Interesting thing about Betty Page is that, well, you have to watch the movie, but she didn't realize, according to the movie, that what she was doing was sexual. She started off as a model, and then she was offered more money to put on these special costumes for special customers. And she just basically thought she was playing dress up until perverts started coming up to her and she realized what it was she was doing. And then she took a look at her life and, you know, well, she has since passed on. When she got older, more mature, she hid from the spotlight because she didn't want anybody to see her, what she looked like. This is allegedly what I've heard. She didn't want anybody to see her age. She wanted her fans and everyone to remember her always young and always beautiful like she was. So I don't know if any pictures were released of her towards the end of her life. You know, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. If you look at models like Brigitte Bardot, you can see that, you know, everyone ages. And people like Joan Collins, people age. But she wanted people to remember her young and beautiful. And fortunately, you know, unlike Marilyn and Jane Mansfield, who remember young and beautiful because they unfortunately passed away when they were still young, Betty Page was able to live a full life, I believe. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to show you this. This is from a calendar. Remember I told you guys that you can frame calendar pages and have them be art? Well, I had a Marilyn Monroe calendar one year. And this was one of the pages. I don't remember what month it was. And that's part of the picture, that border. So I saw this, and like I said, I'd never seen this picture of Marilyn before. And I don't really think I've seen it since. It's her getting her hair done. You see the, like the Aquanet looking hairspray there. Her, just her looking more everyday, and her hairdresser looking so serious. So yeah, you can frame calendar pages as art. And this is a 12 by 12 frame, which you can pick up at Michael's. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at my trailer trash photo here, poster. Now, a lot of you guys ask me, is this a movie? What's the deal behind this poster? I really couldn't tell you. I was searching for retro looking pinup art on old posters. This came up as one of the retro pinups, and it may have been a movie. I don't know. I don't know who that's supposed to be. I don't think it's supposed to be Marilyn Monroe or Jane Mansfield, but I have it behind me. So when I do like Zoom meetings and stuff, it's kind of weird having the words like trailer trash right behind my head. So I might be moving this one over to the other side and getting rid of measure, mix, bake, sprinkle, and replacing this with the creature from the Black Lagoon just to change it up a bit. Okay, so now the next photo I'm going to show you has nudity in it because I don't feel like going over and putting my finger over this person's body. So if you're offended or you're a young child or whatever, please leave the room now. Okay, so we have Brigitte Nielsen, former wife of Sylvester Stallone, in this bondage outfit. I just recently hung this back up again. I had this in my garage. I don't know. It's just, I kind of like the outfit. It goes with the Betty Page type thing. This I printed offline onto photo paper and framed it. So that's that. This is my favorite picture of Marilyn Monroe. It's made it through every apartment, and I always hang it up because I think she looks so innocent there, and it's just a beautiful picture of her. It's from a series of photos. You'll find, I don't remember the photographer's name, but you can find the series of photos of her in this dress from this photo shoot. Then over here, like I said, you can frame magazine covers. This is completely out of place, but the cover of Guitar Player magazine with a Jack White on the front, and it says the white stripes. This is him with his guitar, and I just love this. This is my favorite picture of Jack White because he looks so young and compared to what he looks like now. And youthful, he looks so youthful, and because he looks very androgynous here, you know, manly guys can pull off a look like this. Don't be afraid of the long hair. And then this is the last thing I'll show you that's really of any interest. This is something I picked up at National Wholesalers. It's a canvas. It's like a 3D canvas of some pug art, but also very retro, right? With the leopard shoes and bag, as though the dog is going to wear the matching outfit. So this is the poster of Tom Waits. I'm just showing a picture from online. This is from one of his album covers. It's a variation of one of his album covers. The woman is wearing pasties and underwear. Anyway, he's smoking in this photo, as you can see. One of the things that attracted me to it. Also, like I said, not a big fan of Tom Waits as a singer. I accidentally turned up this photo when I was searching for something else. And here we have the creature from the Black Lagoon poster, which I just really fell in love with for no particular reason. Okay, now we're going to look at some art that I may or may not purchase. So we have Marilyn Monroe and from the early 1950s. I like this one of her on the pink sofa. I think it would look nice over my sofa, but it would kind of make me jealous that I didn't have a pink sofa. Then we have Joan Collins, either looking kind of somber in this photo or looking a little more sexy in this one. Then this one I'm not going to get. Beauty is in the eye of whoever is checking out my fine ass booty. Okay. This Jane Mansfield one, I like it. My boyfriend does not like it. He says she looks too thin with her ribs showing like that she looks emaciated. This one, it might be a definite for me. An absolutely stunning photo of Josephine Baker. And we have this one that's kind of odd. It's called Through the Keyhole. It's a rodent and sort of this woman like hiking up her skirt to get away from the rodent. Then we have some more pinup art. I absolutely love this dress. It's so gorgeous. And then I always imagined this would be me and Malcolm if I first had him when I first learned how to drive. Look how stunned the dog looks. And then we're going to go back to Tom Waits. Now, this is what the actual album looks like. You can see he's looking down. He does have the cigarette in his hand. The girl looks kind of bored. Compared to the actual poster, which is slightly different. The poster was a lot cheaper and than the record. I told you this was going to be a long video, and I keep reopening the wounds on my hands. Like I told you, I did cut myself up. It's just, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to put some more hydrogen peroxide on my hands. And so what I was going to tell you was the little thing about Tom Waits. Now, you might know who he is or might not know who he is. So let me tell you about my experience with Tom Waits. People say that Tom Waits is this prolific singer, songwriter, artist. He's done movies as well. He was in a little known movie that I actually like called Risk Cutters, which is about the afterlife of people who commit suicide. He had not that big of a part in that movie. But anyway, now the way that I discovered Tom Waits is that you guys may know the song Downtown Train by Rod Stewart. It was a big hit for Rod Stewart, and he sings it very well. Now, when I heard Tom Waits sing it, Tom Waits has got this very gravelly, very... I thought he was making fun of Rod Stewart. I thought it was a joke. But he has this very hoarse, very unusual voice. And it's actually a voice that he puts on. Because I did some research. And if you listen to his first album, he sounds really different than the voice that he puts on later on when he sings Downtown Train. So if you listen to the lyrics of Downtown Train, it's a beautifully written song. So it kind of reminds me of like Bob Dylan, where Bob Dylan was a great songwriter and a lot of people covered his work, but he wasn't really the best singer. So I can understand that like he wrote the song so he wanted to sing the song, but you'll notice that a lot of Bob Dylan's songs, including Forever Young, which I did not realize was written by Bob Dylan, was covered by Rod Stewart. And so they become bigger hits for other artists with better voices. So they're great songwriters, but not necessarily great singers. Although there are some songs that I think no one can do better than Bob Dylan, like Subterranean Homesick Blues and Like a Rolling Stone. People might say, oh, like Blowing in the Wind and all that other stuff, but those are my two favorite Bob Dylan songs as sung by Bob Dylan. But going back to Tom Waits, yeah, his voice, if you listen to it for the first time, it's off-putting. It really is very gravelly and very unpleasant. And then once you listen to him for a while, you say, oh, well, I can feel... See, now Downtown Train, when Tom Waits sings it, sounds like a really sad, introspective type song. When Rod Stewart sings it, it's still a beautiful song, but it's more poppy. It's more popular. It's less emotional, even though he does sing it with great gusto and great vibrance and vitality. It doesn't seem like this really... It's a darker song when Tom Waits sings it. Anyway, so I don't think I'll ever be a Tom Waits fan. I mean, even as an actor, I'm not nuts about him. You know, maybe he'll grow on me. Maybe this will be hanging up the picture, which I really like the picture. Not that I find him attractive at all, but yeah, maybe this will open the door to me discovering the greatness of Tom Waits. And yeah. What else was I going to say about that? I think that's all I have to say about that. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I left out. Go check out that song. Go listen to Downtown Train by Rod Stewart first. If you've never heard Tom Waits before, go listen to the Rod Stewart version and then go listen to Tom Waits, and then you're gonna be like, that man killed that song. And then you gotta let it grow on you. Okay, so I think that's it. I'm gonna take care of my bleeding fingers now. Remember to comment, rate, subscribe, follow me on Instagram at Shopping and Sense, and also comment down below, which of those photos do you think is the best one? Which one should I get next? What should be my next art that I hang up? My next, oh, what do they say? Objet d'art? I don't know. I can't speak French. Anyway, see you guys in my next video. Bye, everyone.